Hello, everybody. Good afternoon and welcome to Culture Days. My name is Carly and I work at the Southern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium, and I'm so excited to have all of you here today. A quick note, at the end of the session today, we're going to have about 10 minutes for questions. So if you have any questions, please put them in the YouTube chat and I will get them to Curt when the time comes. Aaron.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Coates. I'm a facilitator with the Southern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium. And I'm going to start by giving a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that what we call Alberta is the traditional and ancestral territory of peoples residing in Treaty Regions 6, 7, and 8. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on or are visiting. And now, without any further ado, I am pleased to turn it over to the fabulous Curt Young.
Here. Did you hear me now? Yes? All right. Well, Tanse Nisigasun Anin Shikwagin, Curt Young. Hello, everybody. My name is Curt Young, and it's a great honor to be here once again. I've actually been asked to do this show. I'm going to say I think this is my third year in a row, so I really appreciate all the people that put effort into making this happen here today. And I want to thank Aaron also for the land acknowledgement. It's really important that we do that because even myself, I'm a guest in this territory. I'm originally, as I said in the beginning in my intro, I'm actually from the Soto tribe. Both my nations are Gordon's First Nation and also Cowes' First Nation. And so I like to always start off with an honor song to honor this beautiful land, to honor all of us here today that can join each other. I know this is a different way. The last time we were actually at the Jubilee and we had schools come in, we had classes come in and sit down and we would present to them and another class would come in. This year is a little different. And we've been through definitely a different year here with the pandemic, and that's why we play these honor songs as well, is to show that respect to Mother Earth, to show that respect to all the abundance that we get each and every day. You know, when we think about the water that we use. Each one of us brushed our teeth, I hope, today, or had a drink of water, or even flushed the toilet. And all of those things come from Mother Earth. Water, food, protection, heat. And it's always important to show respect to Mother Earth and also each other, especially on this beautiful day here we're celebrating with Cultural Days. So with no further ado, I want to send this out to anybody that's feeling sick here today. I want to send this out to people that are feeling really good today. This is also, when we're doing this, we're following protocol of who we are. But this particular flute is from the Lakota, so we've adapted and adopted a lot of our ways into each other's tribes. So this is for all of you here today. Thank you once again for having me. It's a great honor to be here. Hi, hi. Now, boys and girls, the other way that I like to start off is also with a drum song. Now, this drum here in particular represents my family. As you can see, the buffalo in the middle, that's a gray buffalo. And to be honest, I'll share a little bit of a story about my life and what's happening right now. As you know, as you've seen on the screen, my name is Curt Young. But I just found out that the Young name, which was given to my father from his family on Cowes First Nation, was actually given to my great great grandfather by an Indian agent. And if you don't know what an Indian agent is, it was somebody who would sign or stamp passes for First Nations to be able to leave the reserve, because there was a point in time where you actually had to have a pass to leave your reserve. And so the Indian agents would make sure that all the First Nations were following rules, along with sending their kids to the residential school. So the Indian agents were non-First Nations, and they also would give us last names. So my great-great-grandfather was given the name Young by a non-Indigenous person. So I am in the midst right now of changing my name. And if we do this again, maybe next year my name will be changed. Well, it will be changed by next year. But this is my last name, Gray Buffalo, my true last name. And my mushum, which is my grandfather, and my uncles had said, before we really know who we are as people, we kind of have to have our traditional names. And so Young is actually a given name from a non-First Nations person. So I'm in the midst of changing my name to Gray Buffalo, because that's my true traditional name. And so as you can see, this is a heartbeat drum. And I was very lucky to receive this there's an artist in Enoch that actually made this. And so his name is Wally White. And I received this from my partner. And so I'm very lucky to have this. It's a heartbeat drum. And I'm going to get into why we call it a heartbeat drum. Me growing up, I never had access to my culture. Both my parents went to residential school. So I had to ask a lot of questions about who I am and where I come from. And I'm still learning today. The elders say we could live 5 lifetimes and not know everything that we could learn. So one of the questions I had was, why in some of our tribes don't women use the drum? And so, I asked an elder, I said, why is that? Why in some of our tribes don't women use the drum? And so this elder told me, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what side of the world you come from. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter if you consider yourself or you represent yourself as a male, a female, or an other. The first sound, the first rhythm that we hear, that we get used to as human beings, is this rhythm. Now at home, or wherever you are, clap along to this beat with me right now. I can hear you. Just joking. You're doing good. Keep going, keep going. Now, what does that sound like? Boom, 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 boom. I hope you're still clapping with me at home. This represents the heartbeat. And as you know, and if you don't know, this is our round dance style beat. And we call it the heartbeat of Mother Earth. So in some of our tribes, they believe that women don't drum because they are the drum. Their heartbeat is the drum, and that's what it represents. And our drums in a lot of our tribes were given to us by women. Every single piece of the teepee in the Cree teachings represents a woman, represents a woman's life. Everything from the poles to the inside of the teepee to the wrap to the hide, everything represents our women. Now I know in our curriculum we were taught that women cooked and cleaned. Well, that's not the case. They did much, much, much more. And the direction of the tribe, the direction that they would go, was up to the women. The chief had a first-hand advisor, which was the grandmother. We never took our father's names. The reason why we take our father's names is because we've adapted that. In our true traditional way, we took our grandmother clan's name. We never took our father's name. So the women had a very huge role in the community. It was like we had the smallest role, but it was a big role as First Nations men to hunt and to provide and to protect and to support our women. But the women had a huge responsibility, and they had that connection to Mother Earth. They had that connection to the spirit world as well. That's something that men, we sing and we do our ceremonies, but we don't have that true connection to the spirit world like our women do. So I'm going to share a song called Circles, and it's a dedication to all the strong women in my life, like my girlfriend, like my partner, like my mother, my grandmother, all the women that have taught me, my sister, all the women that have taught me in my life. That's why I wrote this song. Your way, way out, way out, way out, hey out. Your way, way out, way out, way out, hey out. Well, you're no one's baby girl, standing strong. This is your world, inspiring all the men to join the circle. The healing never ends. Your way, way out, way out, way out, hey out. Your way, way out, way out, way out, hey Yeah. Your way, way out, way out, way out, hey out. Your way, way out, way out, way out, hey out. Yes. So now you got a true vision of this drum and how it looks close up. It's it's honestly, it's the most beautiful drum. Like, there's energies you could feel from drums, and I'm not sure. I have to find out from Wally what this is made out of here. But I'm thinking it's definitely one of the four-legged animals that First Nations people use. I'll show you an example of my other drum here. Now, you'll notice the difference in sound. Big difference. This is a low sounding drum. This here is actually made of buffalo, this drum here. This is a buffalo drum. So depending on the type of hide that these drums are made of, really depends on each, how tight it is, how low or how high. And you know what, to be honest, each one of these drums has a key, if you don't know that. And each one of us as human beings, we even speak in a key. And my key is the key of G, because I've checked it out on a normal day. Sometimes the key changes depending on how you feel, depending on the weather. Same thing with the drums. Sometimes if it's hot and the sun is on the drum, it'll make it into a higher key. And sometimes when it's chilly and it's in the shade, it'll be a lower sound like this. So this is actually made out of the buffalo hide. And so every time that we play these instruments, we respect those animals. We say a prayer for them. We represent them. That's why you never put a drum face down like this. It's really kind of disrespectful to do that. You always have to, if you put a drum, and don't put the drum on the ground, is what I heard. When, like the ground of your household. But if you're outside, you can lay this on the ground, but not this way. It has to be sitting up, just to show that respect towards the buffalo and the animal. So every time that we drum, and this drum here has been to many places, like Peru, like China, Africa. So this drum has been all over the world. And so, you know, I wanted to share those drum stories, and the flute, because it's really important for us as First Nations to still follow our protocol, especially here on Cultural Days. So I want to share a quick prayer with you guys. This is, and I've kind of adapted this prayer. You can look it up online on Google and get the full prayer there. The way that I say it is it's a little bit, it's adapted to what I do as an entertainer and as what I do. So this was actually a prayer that was recorded in 1887 by Old Chief. Oh, it wasn't recorded by Old Chief Yellowlark, but Old Chief Yellowlark was the one who who made this prayer, and who knows where he got it from, and who knows how long that this prayer, or how old it is. It could be, 500 years to who knows how old this prayer is. But it was recorded in 1887, and the person that was saying the prayer is Old Chief Yellowlark. So you can Google that, look that up, and the prayer is called "O Great Spirit." So I will share just a bit of my rendition of this. Like I said, when you Google it, it's going to be much longer than what I'll share here today. So it goes like this: O Great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the wind, whose breath gives life to all of the world, hear me, for I am small and weak. I seek your strength and your wisdom, not to be greater than my brother or my sister, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself, so that when life fades away with the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. And so, you think of those words recorded in 1887, and without all the technology and Google and stuff that we have here today, it goes to show you how intelligent our elders were, how in tune they were with the earth and the world. Like right now, it would be very tough for myself to be able to go out and survive on the land because we've lost those skills as First Nations. There's some of us that still have that still practice those ways. But that's why we give so much respect to our elders. When we have events and stuff, we have our elders open it up, and we have our elders close the event, because it's really important to have that respect, because without our elders' survival, none of us would be here. And that's including all of you at home as well. All of our ancestors that have been through things, that survived so that we could be here. That's why we pay that respect when we do this. And so I want to share a little something, because before I started here today, me and my partner, we smudged this room. And so if you don't know what smudging means, I'm going to explain a little bit about what I know with the medicines and where they come from and what they do. So why do we do this? We do this to bring in good energy. We do this to clear ourselves of any negativity. And when the smoke is burning, we believe, and this is the teachings that I've been taught. And the teachings that I'm teaching you here are from many different elders that I've been exposed to over my life, from many different tribes. So not all of us follow the same teachings. Like, there's the medicine wheel. We have different colors depending on which tribe you're from, which landmass. That could also affect what you're going to teach, and what animals that you may have in your teachings, because some places have animals and some places have different animals, right? So those teachings may vary and change, depending on where you come from. So I actually brought my sons out for the first time to pick sage. And so this sage is not done. I'm harvesting this sage right now. And I got it from Nose Hill Park. I'm in Calgary, Nose Hill. So yeah, so me and my sons, we went out to, actually, the ones that we got with my sons is actually from Fish Creek Park. So let me just re-say that again. So Fish Creek Park was the place that we got some of the sage here. So when we do this, we put tobacco down, and before we even take anything from Mother Earth, we always put tobacco down and send that respect, send that prayer out that we're gonna be using this in a good way, and for healing, and for our families mostly. As you can see on the tip here, I don't know, I'm gonna get pretty close. So this tip has a lot of seeds, okay, on the tip. So what we got to do with this, with these seeds here, is take this off and get all the seeds, put them in a bag, and then we go and spread those seeds where we picked the sage. So more sage will grow. And if you see a patch, you never take all of it. You have to leave some of it there so it can regrow, and for other people as well. For myself, if I see a big patch, I'll take maybe 60% and I'll leave 30% or even 50%, because depending on how big the patch is, but I never fully take the whole patch. But so what we do when we do this is we clip near the bottom. You never pull it out, because then it won't grow again. You pull the root out, right? So you got to clip near the bottom, but not too close to the ground either. You got to leave a little bit of growth there. Clip that, and then you take it and you wrap it and you hang it. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm harvesting this so I can give it to my family and I can use it for prayers. Here's my smudging bowl. I'll show you what the smudging bowl looks like. So it looks like this. So you take these leaves off here, you bunch it in a ball, and then you throw it in here, and then you take matches and you light that. And that's what we call a smudge. And that's how I started my day today, because I wanted to bring in that good energy and also follow my protocol. So I just wanted to share with you guys because, I know that there's grades, elementary to high school. So but my personal story, I grew up with a learning disability. I actually had problems with reading and writing, and at that time that's what they called it, was a learning disability. I don't know if the curriculum has changed now, but I had problems with keeping up with the rest of my class with reading and writing. And like, one of my biggest nightmares was shared reading. When they would pass a book around the classroom and you had to read it out loud in front of everybody, that I would do anything I could to get out of the classroom before the book would get to me. And so the teachers, they obviously found out there was a problem there. And I would be stuttering over my words. I'd be nervous. And same thing with writing and spelling. Everybody's test would be done and I'd be still sitting there writing, because I take information in differently. I don't think I have a disability. I take information in differently. And, I'm one of the, in our tribes, when we were younger, we had different roles. There was roles for different, even the children had different roles because we all have different personalities. So, but one of the lucky things for me, oh, ah, whoa, what happened here?
It's still all working
Oh,
on there, Curt. You're
okay.
good. Yeah.
You could see everything?
Yeah.
My
You're good.
screen went off, so I thought it was
Oh,
like everything's good.
everything's good. I can still see you. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. So maybe when the 10-minute thing comes on, can you just say hello for
Yes.
me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I can't see you guys now or the screen. I don't know what happened. It just said scheduling made easy now. So I don't know
Oh,
what it
weird.
is.
Okay. Yeah. We'll pop
But
on
as
and
long as you can see me, it's all good.
sure.
So let's see here. Oh yes. So I I found music. I tried I tried tutoring. I tried all the programming within school. And really that it did help. But what truly, truly helped me was finding my strength, finding what I'm good at, and I truly believe that what was my learning disability, I've made into my strength because I've been able to travel around the world talking about my learning disability. For instance, I went to the World Indigenous Youth Conference in Peru and I was there for 2 weeks. I got to go to Machu Picchu and experience all that there. Without that learning disability, who knows if I would have went there? But because I had that learning disability, I'm lucky enough to get to travel and talk about culture, talk about music, talk about the flute and the drum and how it helped me with my education, how I use that as a learning tool because each and every one of you listening to this cast, including all the adults and everybody has a strength. Everybody is good at something. It's finding that strength. For me personally, finding music and that strength has changed my life and has brought me around the world, has made many friends across the country, many different races and places. So I feel really blessed to be able to do what I do. I'm truly living my dream, doing this community work. It really is where my heart is, and it's something that I don't see myself ever to stop that. Stop that work because it's really important. And as you can see here, I'm representing not only Orange Shirt Day, but I'm representing all the young spirits that are still yet to be found on our residential school properties, you know. And if you think about it, you know, I was talking to my girlfriend today, and, you know, the schools, the residential schools in the old days, you know, I come from Gordon's First Nation. There was still a residential school open in 1996. So that is not that long ago. That's 30 some years ago. It's not that long ago at all. So you know, we're still dealing with healing on my reserve. But we were saying, can you imagine going to a school where they actually had graveyards, you know? And they did. They, back in the day, it wasn't just the graveyards that were secretly put there, but they really truly had graveyards. And so it's really it's unbelievable to think of that, you know. But finding this music and making it contemporary for myself was really important. And so, you know, with Culture Days and our celebration here today, you know, moving forward and you know, combining traditional and contemporary was always going to be something that we were going to do. We were going to evolve. I mean, the elders were telling us for many years that the new buffalo is going to be education. The new buffalo will be education, the new way to survive, and technology. You know, if there was no technology here, we wouldn't be doing this together right now. So this song I want to share with you is called I Generation. And you know, it was a elder's teaching how I got this song. And I was sitting in a session and I was expecting a very important call for a show just like this one. And so my phone buzzed in my pocket. And so I made the mistake of pulling my phone out while the elder was speaking and looked at my phone. And so I looked at my phone and, you know, I looked up and the elder was staring right at me. And I knew, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. So after the session, the elder goes like this to me, come see me, right? Everyone had left, and so I'm just like, oh man, I'm in trouble for sure. So I go over and he said, I want to tell you a story about, you know, technology and my view on it. He said, it's something we need. It's something we definitely need, but we can never forget that human contact. He said, you know, I tell my children, or he says, I tell my kids, my grandkids too, because they like to get on their phones while I'm trying to give a lesson or speak. He said, you know, it's I compare it to when First Nations got medals. First got medals, like knives. It was a quicker way to, you know, skin our bucks. It was a quicker way to build our teepees. The medal was just a better way than the rock. It was just faster. It just was better in all ways. And he said, but if you didn't know what you were doing with that metal, you could cut yourself. He said, I compare technology to that today. He said, yes, it is important. Yes, it's going to be the future. Yes, it's going to help us. But at the same time, don't forget that human contact. Looking in each other's eyes. Leave your headphones out at the dinner table. Have conversations with your family. He said, you know, I told my grandkids, maybe when they're done with all their statuses and updating and email, you'll look up and your elder will be gone. Your elder will no longer be there. So always, always pay respects to your elders when they're speaking and put your phones away. So this is called I Generation, and it was inspired by that story. other? Can we download one another? There's 1,000 friends with few connections, a million neighbors all alone. Yeah. There's an answer to everyone's problems. Prescription pills left to solve them. Yeah. Oh, we, the I generation, system control population. Yeah. Oh, we, the I generation, wanting freedom as one. Yeah. Whoa. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, yeah. Hey, yeah. Can we break away from the feed? Half-truth conspiracies. We are the keepers of this land. Mother Nature's in our hands. Oh, we, the I generation, system control population. Yeah. We come from a strong generation, wanting freedom as one. We're not the I generation. This is what we are. We come from a strong generation, free thinking population. Yeah. We come from a strong generation, free thinking population. Clap along, everybody. We come from a strong generation, free thinking population. Yeah. We come from a strong generation. Yes, we do. Free thinking population. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, iGeneration for you guys. And actually, if you're interested, I do have a full-length album that's brand new. You can punch it in under iTunes, Google Play, all the Amazon, everything that's you can download music on. It's called This Is My Story under Curt Young, so CurtYoung, and the name of the album is called This Is My Story. So yeah, so I'm also in the last, I'm gonna say 6 years, I got into dancing, and I'm a grass dancer. And so grass dancers we're always looked at as somebody who blesses the ground. A lot of our dancing we consider healing. We consider it to be a very like medicine and healing for all of us. So the grass dancer was one of the dances, and like I said, there's different teachings from different areas. But what I heard about the grass dance is that before they would have powwows, they would have, or before they would set up even villages or camps or any of those things, or I should say lodges, before they would set up lodges, they would have grass dancers come and bless the ground. They would actually have them step and put some of the grass down. And some of the moves, it looks like they're actually feeling the ground with their feet, and they're representing the grass and the wind. And so when they're moving their feet along the ground, they're feeling for heavy rocks, thistles, things that you wouldn't want to put a lodge down on. And if you were going to put it down there, then they would have people come and remove those things that could hurt you if you sat down or if you laid down. And also it was pushing the grass down, because sometimes the grass would get really tall. So a lot of times these grass dancers, when they would bless the ground, they would actually push some of the grass down. And so that's the dance that I was in, and how I got into it was the person who made my outfit said, put on a powwow song and said, start dancing for me. And I was like, what? I've never danced powwow before. They said, well, dance, just do what's natural to you, right? And so I started dancing, and they said, you're a grass dancer. And so the person who was making my outfit chose my style based on how I was dancing. And this was somebody who's very experienced with the powwow world, with the ceremony world as well. So that was my dance. And this piece right here, you see my little tiny mohawk that I have here? See that little mohawk? So this actually fits on top and gives me an even taller mohawk. As you can see, it sits on top like that. And so, can anybody out there tell me what they think these are? Yes, they're feathers, for sure. Which animal do you think they're from? What animal do you think that's from? It's from the eagle. Yes, it is. And the way that I got these eagle feathers was I was at a camp in Penticton at my friend's house. And where we were camping, there was an eagle nest not too far from us. And so sometimes when the eagles would come fly into the nest, a feather would drop, you know. And so I went and searched around just below the nest, and there were some beautiful feathers there. And so what I did was I dropped some tobacco, and I asked for these feathers, and I picked them up, and that's how we got them. So a lot of times people wonder, well, how do you get the feathers? Do you have to harm the animals and stuff? No, you can actually, even porcupine quills. I'm also I like to work with porcupine quills, doing designing like this, but with porcupine quills, because it's our traditional way. And the way that we get porcupines, sometimes if we find a porcupine that's got hit by a car, we'll use it that way. But the traditional way is you don't harm the porcupine at all. You hunt it, you do, but instead of hurting it or killing it, you throw a piece of material over the porcupine, and the porcupine tries to move around. And some of the quills, not all of the quills either, some of the quills get into the material. You pull it off, and there's even a video. It's a black and white video, and you can see a grandma. She's actually doing this. She has a piece of material. You can look it up on YouTube. Look up, I don't know what you would say, collecting quills in the old days. I don't know how you would say it, but there's a video of a old cookum, which means grandma. She has a piece of material that's over the porcupine, and then that's how she acquired the quills. And you can make earrings. You can design your medicine pipe bags, our outfits, and that. And so, and that's why we really call our outfits outfits. We don't call our outfits costumes. Because when do we wear costumes, everybody? On, yes, Halloween. That's right. And Halloween, I mean, it's fun to dress up, but it's not a part of our culture. We don't call our outfits costumes. So if you ever see some dancers and your parents or uncles or whoever your family is says, "Wow, aren't those beautiful colors on those costumes?" You can say, actually, they don't call them costumes. They call them outfits or regalia. So at the count of three, I want everybody there to say regalia, okay? One, two, three. Regalia. Yes. Now let's say outfit together. One, two, three. Outfit. Yes. So now you guys know that you can actually compliment us in the right way, because I've had a lot of people that come up and they love my dancing, and they're like, "That is a beautiful costume," and it's kind of offensive. It really is kind of offensive, because we don't call these costumes. These are much more to us than costumes. These are a part of our life, and where we come from. So I see that I'm coming close to the 10-minute part, but I want to talk about this as well. So this is Porcupine. This hair. That hair is Porcupine. Okay? So this is what this is called is a roach. Okay? So it fits on top of my head like this, and it helps hold part of my regalia together. My headband piece, it helps hold that on, and so it just really goes with the colors of my outfit, and with what it represents to me. So I just wanted to share a bit of my dancing as well. Hopefully, maybe next year I'll be able to come in my full regalia and dance for you guys, and put on a show and show you exactly what I do with the grass dance. And so for this piece here, I actually designed this piece. So I'm happy that I got to contribute a little bit with the outfit. So, but yeah, a part of Culture Days, I think, is learning what we properly call our outfits and regalia. Because a lot of people, like I say, they say, "We love your costumes," but as once again, we don't call it that. So now you can educate your family and friends, and people who really enjoy our dancing and stuff. I think it's always important to pay that respect, but really know what you're saying first, right? And how to give the compliment without being offensive. So, and so I just wanted to, say it's been a wonderful time here with you guys today. I know that we're coming to the 10-minute mark where we're gonna have some questions. So yeah, feel free to ask me anything about the show. And if there's not that many questions, then I'll finish off with a song.
We've got some questions. So let me just go
Okay.
through the chat here. The first question is from Ms. Tang's class, and she says, "One of my students would like to know why women connect to the spirits, but not the men."
Well, that what it is it's what we call it is and this is getting a little I'm not sure what grade everyone's in, but it's a part of our life. So we call it the moon time, and it's when a woman gets her menstrual cycle, and so at that time she is the most precious, and there's a connection from the spirit world, because they're the ones that can have babies. They're the ones that can call the spirits from up into themselves and actually have those babies. So it has to do with a woman's menstrual cycle, and that's something that we don't have as men, as First Nations men, and that's their connection to the spirit world, because they can have children.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, Hiddish has said, nice to see the homie Curt sharing knowledge. Mid-Napore School is enjoying, and that medallion is fire. So it's just a comment,
Thank
but there
you.
you go.
Thank you, thank you. This was actually given to me after one of my shows here. The designer, I forget her name, but she's from the Blackfoot Confederacy, and this was actually mailed to me after one of my shows. So I'm really lucky to get these things for sure.
What a cool gift. There have been some questions about will this video be available later? Yes, it'll be on YouTube. So if you want to share it with your family and friends, feel free. Lots of thank yous have been coming in. Here's a question from A. Blair McPherson School. Thank you so much for being with us today. One of my kids was wondering, how did you come to find music to inspire your life?
Well, I my dad and his friends, they used to love to sit around the kitchen table and play country music with their guitars. And so that's kind of how I was inspired. I seen my dad and them playing instruments, and then my dad said, "Do you want to learn?" And so he handed me the guitar, one of his guitars, and I started to play, and I just instantly fell in love with learning and the tones and the music and just the sound of the strings, just everything captivated me instantly, and I just instantly fell in love with it and made it into my strength. Yeah.
That's amazing. We're getting so many great questions. Ms. Vandenberg's class is asking, my class would like to know, how do they pick the chief?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, they would have a committee. They would have a committee of people, and I'll explain about the traditional way of being as well. It was mostly the women, but there was a committee of people that chose the chief. The chief nowadays, people run for chief. In the old days, people were chosen for chief, and the way that they would do that is they would choose the person who's the most or the less. I guess the person who would give the most, because nowadays in our events, all the events that I've seen, they say we're gonna feed our elders and our chief and council. Well, that's an adopted way. The chief and council never ate first, never in the old days. That's an adopted way. In the old days, the chief ate last. He ate what was left. It was the women and children that ate first, then the rest of the tribe and the warriors and everything, and then the chief would eat last because he was strong enough to be in that position. Same thing with the council. They would eat what was left. Now they're fed first. But in the real old traditional way, they ate what was left because they were strong enough to be in that position to give everything for their tribe. And it wasn't about the prestige of I'm the chief. It was actually a very, very, very tough job to do. And you had to be the right type of person and very, very strong to be able to do it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. That's such a great answer. Elizabeth is asking, what is your favorite part of music?
Um, to be honest, my favorite part of music is the interaction with the crowd. To be honest, like playing in a live setting, and touching people with something that you wrote, that touched you. And a lot of times, when you write a song, you wrote it for a certain subject, but somebody else that hears your song, it completely touches them in a different way that you didn't even think of. And I've had so many times where people have come up and said, your song has touched me in this way, or I've had somebody that has passed away where it reminds them, or those type of things. So that's my favorite part of music is the interaction with the crowd and exchanging that energy.
Um, Mrs. or Ms. Fung's class is saying that her students would like to know where they can find your music. So you had said like Spotify and YouTube and all of those places.
Yeah.
But is
So,
there a,
sorry.
oh, sorry, but they want to know, is there a place to see you dancing?
Oh, wow. I don't know if I have any videos of me dancing yet because I'm such a it's something I've been doing for the last 5 years. So it is something a little new for me. So I'm thinking about doing a shot with my partner. She's a fancy dancer, and
Nice.
so we're thinking about shooting our own video, because I have a drone, and the drone can circle you. So we're thinking about
Yeah.
doing that. So we'll keep you posted on that on the dance.
Yes. Oh, please send it our way. We will send it out to everybody who is here for sure.
Oh, and you can
Um,
also check out. I have a brand new music video. You can check out
ooh.
on YouTube. It's called "When One Stands" under Curt Young. Yeah,
Okay, I'll pull that up. When you're answering the next question, I'll go grab it and I'll put it in the chat.
perfect.
Ms. Tang's class just wants to say that they think Indigenous things are cool. Um, then Raylin is saying, what other types of dancers are there?
Okay, so for men, there's there and men and women. There's the grass dance. Or sorry, there's the fancy dance. That's for men and women. For women, just women. The jingle dress dance is just for the women. The grass dance is just for the men. The jingle dance, or sorry, the traditional women is traditional is actually for both as well. So there's traditional dancing, that's for both. Grass dancing is for men. Fancy dancing is for both. Chicken dancing is for men. And jingle dress dancing is for women. So there's a few different styles of dancing, and I can't forget hoop dancers as well. And in some of our tribes in BC, there's bear dancers. So if you ever get a chance, you could look up bear dancing. Wow, it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, there's definitely a few out there.
Gosh, there are so many questions that are just coming flying in, which is so exciting. Um, Ms. Tang's class, a student from Ms. Tang's class, has asked, how do people talk to the spirits slash Mother Earth?
Well, as I said, like in the beginning, um, our sage um, connects us to the spirit world down here. When we say our prayers, um, we believe that the smoke carries our prayers up to the Creator. And like one of my elders said, when people pray and they look down, he said, when people pray, I look up. He said, I don't look down. He said, I look up. Because there's so much up there. As First Nations, that's how we used to pray, is looking up. But we've adopted the way of looking down when it's pray, and it has nothing to do with heaven or hell either. It has to do with the ground blocking your prayer. When you look up, it opens up, and so that's our connection is through our prayer. Our prayers and our ceremonies are our connection to the earth and our connection to the spirit world as well.
Thank you. I think we have time for two more questions.
Awesome.
But there's so many more. So I'm sorry if we don't get to all your questions. um, so there's some questions about you as a musician. What is your favorite instrument to play? How many instruments do you play? And how old were you when you started playing music?
Um, when I started playing music, I was about 10 or 11 years old is when I first picked up the guitar. And I would say that um, for a contemporary instrument, guitar would be my choice of instrument, and for a traditional instrument, the drum would definitely be my choice of instruments, because we have the rattle, we have the flute for the Lakota, which a lot of First Nations have adapted into their own, and then we have the drum, and yeah, so that's and then we have the oldest instrument in the world, our voice. So those are my favorite. And for tradition, or for contemporary, I play bass. I play like drums, like a full set of drums that you sit down on. I play harmonica, and yeah, that's it.
That's amazing. Okay, the last question is a big one. when you were struggling, how did you find your strength?
It was like I said, it was lucky that I had music around my life. I'll give you an example. Like, and a lot of you young kids aren't gonna know any of these names, but I'll I'll give you an example. In my parents' room, there was old country like Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, those type of things. In my sister's room, there was Prince, Madonna, all that stuff going on. In my brother's room, there was Led Zeppelin and a much heavier metal style going on. So my house was full of different styles of music. And as I said, when my parents were, or my father was sitting around playing his guitar, once he handed me that guitar, once I got that guitar in my hands, I knew what one of my hugest strengths were. And so that's what I used, for my struggle in school, was finding something that I'm good at, finding something that makes me feel good, finding something that I can excel at, and share with other people as well. So that was me and how I found my strength. And like I said, I was about 10 years old when that all happened.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us today, Curt. That was an amazing session. And I've already received emails from teachers with pictures and their journaling that they were doing throughout the whole workshop. So I'll definitely pass that on to you. Thank you for being part
Beautiful.
of our culture days.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
If
Thanks, Curt. That was
if any
really
of our
inspiring. Thank you.
yeah, thank you. If any of our teachers or students who are watching have anything that they want to share with us, please feel free to email us. You all have our email address, or you can tag us on social media. We'd love to see what you were inspired to do with this workshop today, and we'll definitely pass it on to Curt. We'll
Beautiful.
see you tomorrow for more Culture Day.